So the question is, can driving your car help your golf? Now, as a petrol head, I'm going to say yes, because driving your car at any time helps everything in life. I've got a nice Audi, and so if any of you know me, you know that I love a fast car. So we're going to think about how we drive the car today, not too complicatedly. We're going to use this steering wheel. I have to thank Matt for that, Matt Broadbent. He's helped me out with that steering wheel. It looks quite expensive, so you may not get it back. It's got a lovely little yellow bit here. I don't know what that's called, but it's like a directional yellow bit. At the top, there's probably a professional name, but I don't know it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grip it. You can see I've had an operation on my hand, so we're not going to grip it too well here now. But if I have it sitting here now and the yellow part is in front of me, in a good backswing, I need to turn my car or the steering wheel to the right. And hopefully you can see as I do that, the yellow indicator there turns and it would look back down, and we'll talk about it a little bit from another angle in a minute, but it turns that way. Now you can see my forearms are rotating to allow the steering wheel to turn. Now what that does, it allows my right arm to sit more in and under. This is a good position. Back in the day, we call it weighted tray. I possibly won't be able to hold a tray today. Now, what I see a lot in the academy, and we'll say this from the other side in a second, is I see the opposite. People turn left as they go back. Now, if I turn my forearms this way, can you see how the yellow indicator here now is pointing the wrong way? It's pointing over here. Now my right elbow is high. Now my left elbow is underneath too much. And now I can't easily get the club back to the ball. So what I'm now going to do is have to go this way. And now I need to turn to the right. So if I turn left in the backswing, you can see my weight tends not to move. I tip, and then I'm going to have to try to save it on the way through. Really good players, and this is something you can work on. This is a really nice little feature, I think, for you with this steering wheel. It'll explain it beautifully. As I rotate to the top here, turning my steering wheel right, or my club right, from there, I'm now going to turn the steering wheel even more to the right, which is going to shallow or flatten the club there. And as I do that, I turn my hips back, and now the club's coming, or the steering wheel's from a more inside position, where now I've got to turn the steering wheel back to square it up. So one of the things that's very important is we're rotating our forearms back to the right a little bit more as we start down, but then we're turning them back to the left to square that steering wheel up. So with the steering wheel this way, I'm going to put it slightly down to start with. That would be the angle of the club. Now, as I rotate, you'll see the yellow part of that steering wheel. I'm sure there's a really posh name for it. The little guide bit of the steering wheel there. Can you see how it turns up? And if there were a line through it, it's pointing at where the ball would be. Now we can see to do that, I have rotated my forearms and therefore the steering wheel to the right. From the top as a good player, I'm now going to increase that slightly as I come down and then turn the steering wheel back to square. You can see the yellow line here, and then I would carry on and release it. So again, we're going to turn the steering wheel to the right, which puts us on plane. A little bit more to the right as we start down. That shallows, flattens or moves the club to the inside. Bit of hip turn, and then we can release it back to square again here. Now obviously my hands are too far apart, makes my elbows look strange. So if we grab my 7-iron, and I can't grip it properly, but we imagine we've still got the steering wheel here, a smaller steering wheel here now. As I swing back, if I turn the steering wheel to the right, can you see now how the club again is now looking back down at the ball and is on plane? My right elbow is now down and under. And we are ready to, as we start down, allow the club to turn a little more to the right, or the forearms turn a little more to the right, and then come back to square here. Now, what I see in the academy a lot when it's wrong, and this is what I fight all day because most people slice it, so most people move the club in this way, they tend to turn the steering wheel to the left. Now, as I said here, if I grab the steering wheel again here, if I, as I'm swinging back, turn this wheel to the left, can you see how now my right elbow is high? Flying or chicken wing or whatever you want to call it here, and suddenly the shaft and the club face aren't looking at the golf ball. I've now got to try and correct that. The ball is here, so I'm going to tend to come, we would call it over the top or from the outside, and now I've got to turn the steering wheel to the right. So I've turned the steering wheel to the left, and to anti that, I've now got to turn the steering wheel to the right. That is the wrong way round. Again, grab the 7-iron, as if my hand's on there, I'm now turning it to the right. I'm turning it a little more to the right as I start down. Now it's from the inside. Now the club can now turn hard to the left. And we can see here as I come through, I've turned it right, and then I've turned the steering wheel left. When it's wrong, it's left to right. And guess what shape your ball goes? left to right. Please like and share if that makes sense to you. Also, feel free to send a picture of your car. I'm a bit of a petrol head, so therefore I like seeing nice cars. If it's electric, possibly don't.